Attention, Fostoria senior parents, with 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, we ask you to report to the concession stand, hallway, and find Mr. Lewis arrive for the senior ceremony. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back. We are live at the start of the fourth quarter of a junior varsity game featuring the Fostoria Redmen and the Elmwood Royals. I'm once again your host, Matt Honstein, joined by David St. Louis. We're here to do color for Fostoria's varsity senior night tonight as they play against the Royals Elmwood. David, what are you looking forward to today?
Hey, man, it's a good night for basketball. You're starting to feel the playoff vibe here. You know, we got the girls playoff starting this weekend, and so it's really starting to get crunch time here for the end of the season. So we're definitely looking to see good execution tonight. Guys running plays crisp, ball moving, things like that. You know, just doing the dirty work, all the stuff that you kind of look for, making sure the fundamentals are where they want to be right now. So looking forward to a good game tonight, and hopefully set up a good week here as they finish out the regular season.
Yeah, we had a really nice time on Tuesday last week doing the girls' senior night. Unfortunately, they lost that game, but they did go on to win against Otsego on Thursday, doing a share of the NBC crown. So that's pretty awesome for them as they enter towards the tournament next week. So good luck to them, the ladies, as they go. And we get right to the JV action here as Fostoria with the ball. Playing a little loose with it here to start. Lance Miller with the ball around the arc.
Well, this game is just, JV, like always, is a little sloppy, but the guys are moving well. The defense has been moving well. Fostoria's been really, really aggressive with their trapping defense. The defense in the post has been really good. They've been really aggressive, just trying to body up guys, and just a lot of hustle in this game, which is exactly what you want to see from this group as they look to fill the role of some of these seniors we're going to see tonight in this graduating to finish out this season.
Yeah, that's what you like to look for. You don't necessarily look at the box scores of these JV games or the wins and losses. Just are guys getting better from where they started? Definitely looking to see who can play at the next level. I know that's what Coach Lemus is looking for. Guys that can step up for maybe not this year, but definitely next year, getting spot time or even starting, even in that case.
Fostoria in the break here, up to Trayvon Cousin in the corner, and that's another triple, up to 46-24 now. Fostoria here.
Trayvon Cousin with the big shot too.
Elmwood tosses it over the press real quick and gets a little bit on the break here. Fostoria just trying to execute here down the stretch to kind of finish this one off, but it's been a really hard-fought win for them. So, just kind of looking to play some good defense here as we see attempt at a charge there, and just goes no whistle there. Play on.
I don't think Deshaun Settles is going to win any Oscars anytime soon with that performance, but I like to see the effort anyways.
Pass up the court quick, and a bucket by Cousin again there. Pushing it to 48-26 Fostoria here with 5:30 to go in the fourth. Again, we're here finishing up the JV game before the varsity game kicks off tonight. We've got senior night here for the boys, and we're going to have those festivities coming to you. And we're excited. It's been a couple of good seasons here for the boys, and they've a lot to build on. These seniors have had some good experiences here with a winning season last year and a competitive year this year as well. So. Good way to send them off with a couple wins here this last week.
Definitely. You always want to try to get a win on the senior night. Obviously, maybe they can make up for what the girls didn't accomplish last week. You get a win on the senior night. Anthony Armstrong going up for the layup attempt, gets fouled. He'll shoot two. With the JV Redmen leading 48-26 over the Royals.
Yeah, and maybe that's the thing that the boys will hold on to this year is if they can get it done on senior night, and the girls could, and they'll have that on them. But otherwise, we were celebrating last week the greatness of the girls team, and we're excited to see them this weekend in their sectional game down in Bluffton. So tonight's all on the boys, and we're excited to see a couple of really strong players here as we kind of highlight them here in a few minutes as we get going.
Yeah, you always like to see a little healthy competitiveness between the programs. And I think it just helps overall, makes everyone work a little bit harder, and just love to get that energy around the athletics programs. And a little rivalry is always good.
It's good. These guys out here on the JV team coming tonight with a lot of confidence, looking like they're having fun out there, and that's always good to see. you get into a rut sometimes during the season where, you're just not communicating well on defense, or the offense just isn't clicking right. It can even be easy to get a negative mindset. These guys, good spirits tonight, working hard on defense, recovering for each other, correcting each other on where to go on the offensive end. So it's been really good to see them out here having a good one tonight.
A new addition to our broadcast, if you look in the left-hand corner of your screen, you'll see our score indicator. We have a camera pointed directly at our scoreboard, so you'll be able to see the score, the time left, quarter, and the fouls, which will be important as we look to go to the line and get some free throws.
Hey, finally got the offensive foul they were looking for there. Fostoria's had a couple attempts there to take a charge at different spots, but definitely got it done there. And offensive foul has Redmond with the ball going the other way. 5:01 to go here, up 21 in the fourth quarter of the JV game here. Fostoria versus Elmwood.
You love to see the effort they're still giving here midway through the fourth, even though the score being is, they're still playing hard. In these JV games, sometimes you take out kind of maybe some of your juniors and your sophomores, you put in freshmen, they're raring to go. They want to play as hard as they did during their game. And you just love to see everyone really take full advantage of the opportunities they get and play hard.
Foul looks like there by Cousin. Off a turnover, Elmwood comes down on the break, and looks like they'll be in the 1-1 here the rest of the way. Well, what are you looking forward to tonight, Matt?
I'm just looking for, Fostoria won their last meeting, and they're looking to win again. Some explosive plays, maybe from junior Jordan Ferguson, who likes to get up high, get the ball in the rim a little bit. I watched him play on Saturday against Van Buren, where they came out with a 56-51 win, and Jordan Ferguson had a nice little dunk there, and nearly had a nice tip-back slam over a Black Knight. They couldn't finish it, though, couldn't put the flush, but between him and Mekhi Johnson, they really played super well, balled out a little bit. So I'm looking for more of that today. Maybe get some more of the other guys involved. They missed some shots on Saturday, so hopefully get some of those other guys, those perimeter guys, get some baskets too, and have a nice team win today.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get to see a couple of the seniors tonight that don't get a lot of minutes, and that's always good to see on senior night. A couple of the guys get out here and just show the work that they've been putting in, being supportive of the team, and in practice every single day. So that's always great to see that, and we'll see a couple of early minutes from those guys, and then we'll look to be competitive throughout that and the rest of the game tonight.
One of the cool things about senior nights is, the guys that normally start, they buy in for those guys that work hard, those seniors, and they like to reward them, for sticking out through. Some guys will join the team knowing they won't play a lot, but they like to get in there, they like to practice, like get their minutes when they can. So it's really nice to reward those guys with the start later in the year, and it's really awesome when the rest of the team buys into that. And I think it really just helps the teamwork and just kind of overall play as you go towards the postseason.
And you just really never know. I mean, during a long season like this, it's not an NBA season, not a college season, but it's a long time for high school kids to stay healthy, to stay rested, to stay invested in what they're doing, to stay eligible athletically, and always good to have some more bodies at your disposal. So those guys are really important in those games where you just kind of are a little short-handed, or you just need someone to come in and fill a couple minutes when you got foul trouble, and you can count on that veteran experience, even if it's not been a lot. It's just those few minutes just make everything a little better.
Yeah, next man up. Looks like Fostoria's about to come out with a nice platoon swap here. 5 for 5. I always like to see that.
Yeah, clearing the bench here, making sure to give everybody some good minutes tonight. Looking to finish this one up. And again, the defensive intensity has been really good. They've been consistent bringing that. And this group, same thing, come right off the bench, looking to trap. Doing a real nice job of making it tough for everything. All the passes have been challenged. And get a tip out here to Trayvon Cousin again. Just looking for good ball movement.
Cade Miller with the 3 attempt.
Hey.
Nice put back there by Cousin. Really easy to spot him on the court. He's wearing green and pink shoes. Hard to miss that.
And we're just really struggling here with this trap, and it's just been really hard for them to move the ball in most of this, and a little too aggressive there on the trap between Miller and Kleinmark. But you got the right spirit here. You're seeing it, and these guys have just been running them ragged all night, man. You can just kind of tell the body language from Elmwood. They're tired. they're trying to have them to think this hard on every possession, and that's leading to some good buckets here and nice breakaway chances now.
Yeah, if you're a trapping team, not only do you have to be able to do it in the first quarter when you're fresh, you got to be able to do it in the fourth quarter when you're tired. It's just staying disciplined and knowing your keys and knowing when to back off of it, when to put it on. So it's really impressive they rep that. Obviously, you can tell they rep that a lot in practice. They're pretty disciplined at it.
Definitely. And the teams that are really good at it, that's what their kind of thought process is. Even if we get down early, because they've kind of got to figure it out, they're going to get tired and they're going to stop making the right decisions as easily.
Kleinmark with the deep three from the volleyball line really tuned that one up, extending the lead 53-31.
And it's been a lot of perimeter shots tonight for Fostoria, but they've been seeing several of them drop, and that's what's going to open this lead up to 53-31 here. Late offensive rebound given up there to Elmwood.
Colton Bradford with that putback.
Cutting down to about 2:07 here to go in the game. Again, Fostoria trying to finish off a nice win. Seen a lot of these guys out here get a couple minutes and just kind of move the ball. You know, you talk about simple things like, can I run the offense, or how do we do when it kind of breaks down? You're seeing these guys make good decisions here. That's really promising as we look forward to next year.
Thank you.
Fostoria on the baseline, out of bounds play here. Kleinmark with the drive, pull up. Just a bit long.
Just beat the trap there to a corner look here for Elmwood. And Elmwood, for the most part, has been looking for these deep shots against. They've really been looking to just keep moving the ball. And we'll see if that continues in the later game, if that's kind of how their offense looks. If they just try and be patient and move the ball. But
yeah, the preliminary scouting report on Elmwood doesn't necessarily mean that they're a long ball shooting team. They want to get the ball into the paint, try to get those easy buckets, maybe mucky it up a little bit, slow the pace down. Not a tremendously high scoring team. So they're going to try to slow down Fostoria, work the ball in the paint, take the open shots out of there, make Fostoria work a little bit. That's kind of the same kind of game plan that we saw when we did the girls' game last week. But like to keep these guys in check and slow them down a little bit. Maybe slow that trap down, play at their own pace. So it looks like we're another platoon swap here.
Line change.
5 out. Line change. Oh, hockey switch.
you know, when you trap like this, it really is kind of cool to see this idea of, like, if you got a group of 5 that knows how to trap well, you may as well send them in together because they can hit it when they get in there and trap hard, and they all know where they're supposed to go. It's really nice.
Fresh legs.
And that's a nice 10-man rotation you feel like you can commit to and trust, and that's great. You can get all those guys minutes on a team like this.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Elmwood just off the mark there with the 20-footer from the sideline.
Shot there by Damian Pittman goes a little bit long, and loose ball rebound side out here to Fostoria, looks like.
Damian Pittman at the top of the arc here.
There you go.
I will note, after seeing Pittman on the floor, that he participated in the student staff basketball game a couple weeks ago. I want to say he had about 6 or 7 threes, but it will also be pointed out that the staff won, and the man sitting next to me, David St. Louis, hit the buzzer-beating three-pointer to win the game. Just wanted to put that out there for everyone to know.
We don't talk about that one too much around the school anymore, but it was good for a couple days there to have that on the kids. But no, I would say that Pittman was not afraid to let it fly, and he was pulling from across. Once he crossed half court, he was letting it fly. So
yeah,
that was nice.
He was really feeling it. That's good to see. Number 31, Taylor Minnick, shooting 2 at the stripe here. We got about 27 seconds left here in the junior varsity game. Makes the second one. 57-34, Fostoria. Trenton Smith pulls up deep three. Rebound Pittman. Nice little offensive rebound. Throws it up again, makes it.
Moving our final here closer, and 60-34. Fostoria here. 6 seconds left.
Late foul.
Like I said, please join us after this for our senior night presentation.
Yeah, we'll be going directly to the senior night presentations. It looks like we have 3 seniors that we'll be honoring, along with senior cheerleaders as well. So make sure you stick around for that.
And the coach from Fostoria pulls the plug on that one as they finish it up 60-36. Fostoria gets the win.
But it's great to see the kids enjoying themselves out there. It looked like they had fun that game. Everyone got a little piece, and that's good. That's good to see. So a resounding 60-36 win by Fostoria here in the JV game against the Elmwood Royals. As we reset the clock and prepare for the varsity players to take the court. But once again, we'll go directly to the senior night presentations at midcourt, so stick around for that.
Good evening. Tonight we would like to recognize our senior cheerleader and boys varsity basketball players. We are grateful for all 4 of these student athletes and the contributions they have made to Fostoria High School over their entire school careers. Our first senior is cheerleader Allison Sheridan. Allison is the daughter of Michelle Van Hoos and Nick Sheridan. She is being escorted tonight by Amy Lovell, Kendall Sproul, and Gabriella Guzman. She has participated in cheerleading and competition cheer throughout her high school career. Allison plans to go to college to be a pharmacist, but this time her college choice is undetermined. Her favorite memory is when we were at cheer practice and Jania's ponytail fell out. Allison would like to thank our cheer coach, Melissa Mason, for pushing her to be the cheerleader that she is today. Thanks, and good luck, Allison. Our next senior is basketball player Jason Hartford. Jason is the son of Devin and Ben Hartford. He has participated in golf, basketball, and baseball. Jason plans to attend UNOH and pursue a degree in medical technology. Jason would like to thank his mom and dad for raising him right, and he would also like to thank his late parent for even though he has passed, he pushes him to be a better person each and every day. Thank you and good luck, Jason. Next senior is basketball player Chaz McBeth-Sauer. Chaz is the son of Senator McBeth and Chaz Settles. He has participated in basketball and track during his high school career. Chaz plans to use enter the workforce and be a dedicated worker and teammate, just as he has been our basketball team throughout his career. Thank you, and good luck, Chad. Our last senior tonight is basketball player Aiden Sprang. Aiden is the son of Andy and Angie Sprang. Aiden has been a member of the football, basketball, and baseball teams throughout his entire high school career. He is a member of the National Honor Society. Aiden also participates in the 2nd and 7th reading program with our elementary school students. Aiden is going to attend Ohio Northern University to study mechanical engineering and play football at Ohio Northern University. Aiden would like to thank his family, friends, coaches, and teammates for all the great memories we have created together. Thank you and good luck, Aiden. Please join us in congratulating Allison, Jason, Chaz, and Aiden for all of their contributions to Fostoria High School. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back as the Fostoria Redmond take the court to the sounds of T.I.'s Bring 'Em Out. And it was a nice little senior night celebration, I will say. A lot less balloons than the girls' senior night festivities. Maybe the guys don't like balloons as much. I personally am a big fan of balloons, so I'd be personally upset. But David, what do you think of the senior night festivities so far?
Hey, it's great. It's always good to recognize these seniors, like we said before. They've been here for a long time. They've gone through a lot to make it to this point, and their commitment to the team is not easy to cover with a couple of gifts and some hugs and a night where we announce them. They're the heart and soul. They're grinding in practice all the time. They're definitely taking the reps, and it's a big deal for programs like this to have guys they can count on and be consistent that way.
Absolutely. Love to leave the seniors come out. Like we said earlier, honor those guys that work hard in practice. You know, it's not easy coming to practice every day knowing you may play 30 seconds in a game, right? So show out, be a great practice player, a very important scout team guy to run opponent sets and everything, and get the main five ready to play. So you got to love to honor those guys and let the crowd know just how important they are to the team.
Yep. It's nice to always bring the cheerleaders in and have them celebrate as well, you know, because there's a lot of effort that goes in there. We were sitting in a 7th grade game earlier saying, man, that's a lot of work just to go in there and be a part of the cheerleading squad for that. So think all the years they've been going through cheerleading, so to have Allison here and celebrate her as well as we get ready for the end of the basketball season here. Obviously, she's put in a ton of hours getting ready for the cheerleading stuff as well. So it's really cool to have them recognized in this moment as well.
Yeah, you gotta love the cheerleaders. The Fostoria squad it's pretty cool. They do pyramids, they do flips. You love to see that. Very excited during the game. And I'll tell you what, when I saw them on Saturday, they were loud. You could hear them. And I think they definitely had an effect on some of the free throws for sure. Now, as we kind of talk about both teams, we said earlier, Fostoria is coming off a 56-51 win against Van Buren on Saturday. In that game, Makai Johnson had 24 points, Jordan Ferguson had 19, and Christian Carter Stokes chipped in 6.
I mean, I think that Fostoria is playing the way they want to here. It's a close game. They're making sure they execute down the stretch and finish the way they want to. I think it's that's the kind of game you want to be playing. And as we get towards tournament time here, as we finish up, the close games are where you really get those reps you want from your guys so they can get ready for these crunch time moments. And hopefully have them ready for a 1 or 2 games they can get a run at here in the sectional tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't want to play. They're coming in with a 9 seed. They'll play Kenton at Lima Senior on the 22nd. So you'd like for them to get a win here. They have another game on Tuesday against New Regal, a 9-8 team there, a smaller school. So hopefully getting a little bit of rhythm, get a couple wins here to end the season, and really go into that 8-9 matchup, and maybe get a win going to the second round where they have the honor of playing St. Mary's Memorial on the 24th at Lima Senior. So if you can get a win in the playoffs, that's big. No matter what your record is during your regular season, if you can go home knowing you got a win or 2 wins in the playoffs, that's something to build the next season on. So that's really important for them.
And we got a team that last year had some success. They last year team was 13-9, got through that first round win against Scott, and a really big win for them to go into Toledo and get a win at the sectional last year. And even though they had a tough loss to Toledo Central Catholic after that, it's guys at that game that got the experience, that are ready for these moments here, who are going to be able to step up and say, I was there when it was loud, and when it was when we had to get down to those moments where it really mattered. And they've got that to pull from as we get into these last couple games. And the 22nd, that's definitely the experience that we're looking back to and saying, I want to make sure we take care of business this time around.
Oh, for sure. And then you think about the team that Fostoria has, a very young team. Their top 2 scorers are 2 juniors. So any sort of experience they can get this year, you think about them going into seniors next year, and that'd be really important for them. And maybe they win a couple games this year. You never know. We talk about the Elmwood Royals. They're 4-14, 1-11 in the NBC. They're coming off a 33-54 loss to Eastwood. And in that game, Cade Lentz had 11 points, and Hayden Wicker chipped in with 6, and Will Harrison had 4 points. Their next game will be Thursday against a 12-9 Bluffton team. That'll end the season for them. And right now, Elmwood is slotted to play Riverdale in a 12-13 seed matchup on the 21st at Elida. And if they were to win that game, they would have the honor of playing the number 1 overall seed, Ottawa Glandorf, also at Elida on the 24th.
I mean, when we talk about Elmwood, it starts with Cade Lentz, right? Cade Lentz has been their highest scorer for the year. On the 6th against Arcadia, he put up a 30-piece. So he's got the ability to get a lot of points and lead the way for them. Their second leading scorer is Hayden Wickard, and he's had a couple games this year where he's kind of gone off, been in that 17, 19, 21 points in that area. So those are the 2 guys that Fostoria is going to have to keep under wraps. We have to keep them a little bit off the glass and really fight them on the boards and make sure they don't get those second chance points that can get them going.
Yeah, Lentz is definitely capable of putting them up. He has attempted 105 threes in the season, shooting about 26%. So you can't let someone like that, get hot from the arc, because that could really change a game regardless of how the other players are playing. The rest of the team will feed off that. You look at kind of how the teams score each game. Fostoria averages around 50 points per game, while Elmwood only averages about 39.5. So obviously Elmwood plays at a slower pace and a lower scoring team, where Fostoria kind of likes to put that hard press on, get the ball up court, play at a high tempo, and try to get those easy baskets on the fast break.
Yep, and I think that, Elmwood's kind of had a little run here. Before this Eastwood game last Friday, they had an overtime loss to Woodville. That was a close one. And they had 2 close wins right following that. They've got some good things going there, and I think they want to build off of that and just try and execute like we talked about tonight. This time of year is all about execution and putting those things on autopilot, because you've done them so many times. When your plays are run right, you get those open looks. Let's execute those. Let's finish them, and let's make sure we do the simple stuff, boxing out and playing good team defense tonight. So if they're disciplined, they've been for the most part this year. They've been a team that's kind of kept the scoring low on both sides. So we'll see how they do tonight.
Yeah, as we talk about Fostoria's offense and kind of what they want to do outside of their half-court press and their full-court presses, I mean, from what I've seen, it runs through two guys. It runs through Makai Johnson and Jordan Ferguson. And what I noticed the last game is that, Makai, he's had 47 points combined in the last two contests, which for a high school kid, that's pretty good. He's averaging around 17.5 points a game, to assists per game. And, he runs point. He's a big point guard. And one of the best things about him is they can post him up. If he's matched up on a smaller guard, they can post him up in the block and get some really easy looks at the basket for him. And he also runs the court really well. He plays within himself. He's patient. Take the three. If he wants to shoot that, he's shooting about 28% from the arc, which is pretty good. And, the offense flows through him. We talked about Jordan Ferguson. I was talking to Coach Loomis earlier today. He came in as kind of their go-to guy, leading scorer, but he's seen a lot of double teams. So it's taking the focus off him and more on Makai, and he's kind of picked it up here recently. And Ferguson gets a lot of the hustle points. He points around the rim and putbacks, and he's a guy that can fly high and really dunk a little bit, and he's intimidating post player, especially when he plays center. Gets a lot of weak side blocks and everything like that.
And like you said, the offense runs there. When you look at percentages and stuff like that, when you see two guys who are executing at 56% from two-point range, that's exactly what you want to see. When they get their looks inside, they're finishing at a high rate. Fostoria's got a couple guys who will shoot from distance, but for the most part, that's where they're getting their bread and butter is getting those open looks by executing offense and running and playing a good defense. And, so I think that's what we'll look for. In terms of guys, who do we kind of look for otherwise? We've got Christian Carter-Stokes and Jason Tucker have been getting a lot of reps lately. And those are guys who you look for to play really strong defense and execute that way. I think they're doing a great job of just giving those young guys especially some more run and giving them some more responsibility, giving them opportunity here to get the experience they need to keep building as players. I think Stokes is a sophomore, and so he's been through this last year, looking through that whole postseason run. But this is a freshman for Tucker, and Tucker's been given a lot of minutes in the post, where he's being asked to anchor a defense there in the middle. And he got a little aggressive, he said, this weekend. Got fouls pretty quick, but obviously has the right thoughts and a good initiative there to play an attacking style of defense to make it tough for the other team. So looking forward to seeing some of those young guys get in there too.
Yeah, we'd like to see Jason bounce back from his game Saturday. 5 fouls, fouled her early in the fourth quarter, 0 points. So we'd like for him to get a couple early looks at the basket, maybe get in the flow, and kind of see what he can do against this Elmwood basketball team. And, you talk about those guys in the corner. Aiden Spring will get some looks. Ryan O'Neal will get some looks. He had a couple makes on Saturday. So there will be open shots in the corner. You guys just have to make them. And then Coach Loomis, he told me he was hopeful that those guys could shoot a little bit better percentage from there, especially Tucker, having a little better game. And Christian Carter-Stokes, maybe he said he had 16 points early in the year, and maybe getting back to that, just playing under control and having good looks and getting those easy baskets.
And having 4 guys you can kind of rely on there with some size, guys that are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", that really helps. But outside of that, Fostoria not a real big team at the guard position, and they're going to have to, try and look as they go forward here to kind of use that as their quickness and the way that they're moving around to make it hard with their defensive intensity. Obviously the length inside is making it hard on teams. So we'll kind of see what that looks like tonight in this game. But just a mix of size here. And I think when we look over here at Elmwood's group, not a real big group either, but you're always looking to have that size advantage and see if you can take advantage of that. But I think the athleticism here that we're going to see from that group and from the big guys as well is going to also help out in Fostoria's advantage tonight.
Yeah, Elmwood, former starter Adam Meyer, number 14, he's out for the season with the ACL sprain. So he was their All-Ohio middle linebacker on the football team this past year. So they're looking for some other contributors. Obviously, we've talked about Cade Lentz and Hayden Wickard. So maybe you're looking for, some of the other guys to step up. Maybe it's Will Harrison, senior 6'3", senior wing. Maybe he gets some points. Or some of the other guys on the roster, maybe Alan Sterling, 5'10", senior wing. They're just looking for contributors outside of those two guys. And if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to get some other guys besides Lentz and Wickard to step up.
Yeah, and I think in those situations, you're looking for guys to move the ball, right? Just keep it going, keep running your offense efficiently, and if you can do that, you'll eventually get the looks. You just got to be patient, and at this point in the year, you should be able to trust that that'll work because you've seen it through 18 games or so now of having this experience and saying, I know that we can get looks. I know that we'll find guys open, and especially like we said, coming off 2 wins in the last 10 days here, they've picked up. They've got to be feeling a little bit better than they were, say, 3 weeks ago about the way they're moving, the way their offense is going, and hopefully that'll help them at least, make this one interesting for a while.
Oh, absolutely, and you're playing offense against a team like Fostoria that likes to run trap. There will be openings to score if they can control the ball, get into the space, and kind of work the ball in the middle. There will be opportunities, right? They can't speed themselves up. They can't turn the ball over because that's what Fostoria wants. They want the teams to speed up and get uncharacteristic play outside of what they normally do. So if Elmwood can, possess the ball, maintain it, work against the 2-3 zone that Fostoria plays, keep this one close, they might have a chance. As we're about 30 seconds away from tip, we'll go to the national anthem here. It looks like the flag's coming down, so we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back with you when this game starts.
City Schools and its athletic department, we would like to welcome you to Fostoria High School. Ladies and gentlemen, as a member of the member school of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Fostoria High School welcomes you to this interscholastic contest between Fostoria High School and our visitors from Elmwood High School. To honor America, please stand and join FHS custodian Tim Neller in singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose white stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, and our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. The officials for tonight's game have been selected in accordance with the procedures established by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Our officials tonight are James Jordan, Kevin Catafias, and Tom Contact. We ask that you follow the motto of the OHSA and show respect for the officials, the players and coaches, your fellow fans, and most of all, please respect the game. Now let's meet the starting lineup. First for the visitors from Elmwood. Wearing 0, a 5'11" freshman, Landry Seedorf. A 6'4" junior, wearing number 3, Katie Lentz. Wearing number 11, a sophomore, 5'7", Andrew Traxler. A 6'4" senior, wearing number 12, Hayden Wicker. And wearing number 31, a senior at 6 foot, Zach May. And now for your Fostoria Redmen. Coming in at 6'2", wearing number 0, a junior, Malachi Johnson. Wearing number 22, a 6'3" junior, Jordan Ferguson. Wearing number 23, senior Jason Hartner. And wearing number 33, 6-foot senior Chad McNutt. Good luck, both teams. Fostoria Redmond.
All right, welcome back. Elmwood takes the early lead with a 2-point basket by Hayden Wickard. We see Elmwood with the ball. If you on our screen there, you saw today's starters. We have Jordan Ferguson, Makai Johnson, Aiden Spring, Chaz McSpettles, and Jason Harpster as our starting lineup. Lynch with the rebound. Elmwood with the board. Seymour with that rebound. Cracks it in the corner. Bounces ball off Chaz with Settle's leg. Elmwood will get the baseline out of bounds.
We're seeing Fostoria defensively really here in a 2-3 zone, really. And what the big worry is oftentimes when it's 2-3 zone, as they get a quick 2 points off of inbounds play there, it's just that defensive rebounding. This guy's a little bit out of position, not about overmatched, and so they ended up just a little bit out of spot and led to a couple offensive rebounds there in that first possession for Elmwood. And now they're just trying to get the offense running, get the defense set up, and make some good plays here. Turnover Ferguson and going the other way at Elmwood.
That's the thing when you run that 2-3 zone, when that shot goes up, you just kind of have to find the body, latch on, kind of put yourself between the other guy and the basket and try to hope you get that rebound. If you're not doing that, it's really hard to get those boards, and you give up a lot of offensive boards.
And we're seeing, obviously, it's senior night here in Fostoria, so we've got a couple guys here getting some minutes here early. Jason Harvester and Chad McSpettles getting in there and getting some minutes here and getting an opportunity. So
this is big for Elmwood, getting this early lead here. It gives them more confidence. Get a foul there. Makai Johnson draws a little hand check there.
And Fostoria just seem to be a little struggling right now as they work through this offense, and they're just kind of figure out this defense for Elmwood. Elmwood is a very, very physical, from what we're seeing already, a very, very physical defense. They're going to get up in you and make it difficult for you to run the offense the way you want to. And so Fostoria's getting some nice screen set, moving the ball nicely here, but it's really, really squeezing you on every position.
Spring with the three. Macbeth settles with the rebound. Makai Johnson launches a long three. Settles with another offensive board. Harpster on the wing, dribbles in, shoots. Just off the backboard there. May pulls down the defensive rebound in a little scrum, gets it out. Now on the fast break himself.
Couple nice looks there for Fostoria, and just going the other way there on the rebound. And another offensive rebound for Elmwood, and they just got to get this kind of figured out. They're going to slowly get into it. And a steal here by Elmwood, leading to a nice, easy layup for a 10-0 lead here for Elmwood with 4:21 to go in the first quarter.
That's an early 10-0 lead. Loomis calls the timeout. Certainly not how he wanted to start the game. So we'll see. I saw Jason Tekler is going to be checking in. Looks like Christian Carter-Stokes is also checking in the game.
And this might just be getting, your starters back in and getting your guys ready to go. And, always good on seeing, to see those guys get a little bit of run. Execution's got to be there. So that's all we've seen so far. Got a little lazy there on that last pass. Led to a steal by Wickard, and Wickard with the easy layup there. Elmwood getting easy points. Don't want to do them any favors here, but we'll see how we go here.
I would say this is exactly what head coach Tyler Traxler for the Elmwood Wolves, how he wanted to start the game. And it's so easy to work off a 10-point lead. So let's see what they do defensively to try to maintain that.
And what we're seeing so far is Andrew Traxler, a guard for Elmwood, has been given the job of just staying tight to Makai all night here. Makai Johnson for Fostoria, and he's been right in his jersey from the jump. Taken there, kind of made it difficult on the inbounds pass, and now it's just kind of pushed and kept his hands right there. Playing some really tight defense, making it really difficult for Makai to do much right now. So, nice look inside there to Stokes, but got the ball out without turning it over, and now we'll go back to Stokes in the corner here and try and run some offense.
Ferguson with the ball around the arc. Looking maybe for Makai in the post here, posting up on Traxler. They do like to do that run, though. Post up touches for Makai when he gets a mismatch in size. He drives, center of the key, misses. Ferguson with the rebound. Spring resets the offense at top of the arc.
They just look like they're having a hard time with this defense. It's really, really focused on keeping you uncomfortable, keeping an arm right on you at all times. Ball pressure here, leads another turnover for Elmwood, and another fast break layup there for Lentz.
Yeah, Lentz has 2 early baskets, and that's our second easy basket off a turnover in the half court there.
And they're shading 2 defenders at all time here against Johnson there. She gets an inside pass and gets a shot up, but again, a tested, very difficult play there. Not a real high percentage shot, but I think that's what he's going to be looking at all night. Now, you can definitely already see Traxler, who's got the job to defend him. He's exhausted already, so we'll see if Traxler can handle that, but you get the feeling they're going to keep sending guys at Johnson all night to try and keep him in check.
Looks like Elmwood's ready to send in a sub here.
And they're bringing in Alan Sterling now to give Traxler a blow, but we'll see if that makes a difference. If Johnson gets some looks now once the Traxler's out.
Carter Stokes with the foul. Elmwood will inbound. Tucker defending the paint, looking for that inside cutter. Lance around the arc, drives on Makai. Lance resets it at the top of the key.
And you can see that Lance is really just the commander of this offense. He's just kind of moving everybody around where he wants him, looking for an open shot. As the ball comes back around to him here after they run a full set.
And he is running all over the place, too. Air balls along, too. Stokes under the basket. It's a rebound, but must have stepped out of bounds. Elmwood will retain possession. Loomis takes another early timeout. He is not pleased.
I mean, we're at 2:04 here in the first quarter, to go, and Fostoria still without a bucket. I mean, obviously took the pressure a little bit, but again, this defense from Elmwood has just made it difficult to run anything offensively. So, I think they're looking right now to kind of say, if we play some good defense here, and if we can get an offensive board, or a defensive board, and finally get out on the break and get some points, that might help them set up what they want to do on defense and change the tone. But right now, it's all Elmwood.
We saw this last week at the girls' game. Sometimes you get to the senior nights, and you get a little uncomfortable, right? You change your warm-up, you change kind of how you prepare a little bit, change off your pregame routine. You'd like to say it doesn't affect you, but, in the end it does. And maybe they're playing a little tight here, knowing that they've already beaten Elmwood once, and maybe you walk into this game a little bit underprepared mentally, maybe not Obviously, Coach Loomis didn't change his practice at all, but sometimes mentally that you can kind of take it easy a little bit, and it definitely doesn't look like Elmwood mentally is unfocused on this one. They look on their game.
There's a board from Fostoria, and quickly they're right down the court, trying to make a play, leading to a foul there on Elmwood, and Carter Stokes going to the line for 2.
Now that's a great drive. Get maybe a rally started here, getting at the line with the clock stopped.
And I feel like that's kind of what they were looking to do. Now the size of Elmwood's two lead guys here is definitely something that's they're not gonna look at Fostoria's group and say that they're so big they're really gonna change a lot with what they're doing. They're both 6'2", 6'3", and while Fostoria's got some size, having a couple guys that size, they're not dominating them size-wise. So Lentz has been able to operate and move pretty easily unchecked, and Wicker's been getting some important boards early here that have kind of helped them get going. So we'll see if they can do a little bit more against them as Johnson picks up Lentz full court here on defense off the free throw miss.
Yeah, he's really feeling it down in the stands. These guys play each other, through junior high. They know who Lentz is. They know he can shoot from anywhere, so they know they have to stay on top of him.
And another offensive rebound by Elmwood leads to an easy 2 points. And
Sterling with a nice offensive rebound with the putback. Big play by Tucker on the other end with the 2-pointer, bringing the score to 3-14. Fostoria down.
And Fostoria, looking here, they've got 3 guys. Elmwood running 3 guys out top. And this is kind of what they do. They look to run the clock a little bit here on offense, just with Lentz handling the ball, especially when they got a lead and kind of slow the game down. But what happens is when you got those 3 guys up there, then you go down to 2-on-2 matchups in the paint, and that can be a little difficult if you got guys who are skilled there. So, that one works pretty nicely. This time, the pressure leads to Elmwood double dribble, and we're moving towards the Fostoria way here. See if we can get a good bucket here. Tracks the right back in for another run on defense on Johnson, and we'll see how he does.
Yep. Looks like Loomis kind of drew up in that last time out, really extending that defensive pressure, slowing and getting Elmwood uncomfortable in their offense. That seemed like that worked that time. Tucker with the ball in the arc. Mackay coming off that curl, puts the ball up, draws the foul. Contact on the shooting elbow there, and he'll shoot 2.
And I think with the over-aggressiveness here, you can look to draw fouls here and get to the line consistently tonight. He pump fakes 2 guys in the air, easy free throw line visit there for him. And as he kind of sees this go, I think he'll start to get more opportunities that way.
And that's a place he likes to be. He shoots nearly 80% from the free throw line, makes the first. So if he can get to that free throw line, that's good for him, get him started, see some balls go in the hoop.
And for a guy like him, he shoots a good amount of threes and he's relatively efficient from there. With a guy of his size being able to get inside the paint and just in that paint area, just get a couple shots up and get on the line, shooting 80%, man, that's huge. That's a big difference in your every night line.
Absolutely.
Getting a couple more extra points that way.
Seedorf and Zach May check in for Elmwood. Just trying to keep the bodies fresh and keep the defensive intensity up as they are on offense now. Fostoria still extending that pressure nearly to half court here. Not letting Elmwood set up an offense.
But I really think this is what they're trying to do. Like I said, Elmwood is trying to run a offense that takes a lot of time, but is highly efficient getting them looks on the inside. And there they got a nice look at the rim, but they got blocked. A block by Jordan Ferguson there right before the end.
Yeah, that was a big play by Fostoria defensively. Wickard had an easy opportunity at the basket, but Ferguson comes around with a weak side block. Bringing the lead to just 9 by Elmwood at the quarter, so Fostoria cuts into a little bit, finding a little bit more momentum on the offensive end, attacking the basket, getting easy shots at the foul line.
And I think we'll look to see now, if there's a big adjustment here. You identified that when Traxler's in, you're going to have super physical defense on Johnson, and it's a huge size advantage there, so they may go back to him in the post and try and look to do a little bit more work there. The first time he got in there, it wasn't real effective, but I think he'll kind of look to make more of those opportunities. And then as well, let's get Ferguson some opportunities as well, kind of maybe on those backdoor, because you're seeing over-aggression here, maybe on some backdoor looks or some looks that way to kind of come off a couple screens and get them looking the other way and get some easy buckets. So, I definitely think that Fostoria's got a plan for how they're going to attack this, and Elmwood's kind of giving them their look right now, and now it's just the response.
As you saw that first quarter, Elmwood didn't commit any live ball turnovers, keeping Fostoria out of the fast break, which they like to operate in. They tried to run a little bit there at the end, but Fostoria, for them, they only get some easy baskets at the rim on that fast break, coming off of turnovers from their defense.
And if you haven't seen Lentz with the ball so far, I mean, honestly, Lentz is really just has the ball in a string. He's been really great with that in there. As we see another 2 points inside for Hayden Wickard. But, I mean, he's really doing whatever he wants with the ball out top and kind of getting all the attention from Mackay so far defensively. So we'll see how that goes from now on as well.
And if you notice for those of you guys watching at home, if you look at Traxler guard Mackay Johnson, he's almost face guarding him around the court. Mackay gets the ball into the paint, able to muscle his way in. That's a big basket for Fostoria, getting that easy 2-pointer.
And, you know, Traxler, like we said, is that annoying guy that's just going to be up in your shirt the whole game. But, you know, Johnson there recognizing the size difference, kind of slows it down a little bit more and just really takes him apart in the post and gets an easy bucket.
Lentz with a nice pro hop into the paint as he kind of gets in there and gets where, you know, for a guy his size, 6'4", he can get his shot off from anywhere. So if he gets into that paint, it's almost, 100% shot in there for him.
As we see Ferguson come down with a real quick run there on the fast break and just drops a layup off that just falls just off, and then we see Wickard go down the other way, same situation. And we're seeing these guys both, they're getting looks inside, but they're just a little rushed, and that's making it so they're just having a little difficulty getting to the rim and completely finishing it with the challenging so far.
Christian Carter might have rushed a shot over there, looking for contact, which Fostoria has gotten on the last couple of drives. But you got to be aggressive, right? You got to be aggressive, get those easy looks, maybe get Elmwood into foul trouble. And you start from there.
Fostoria making a couple subs here. We got Ryan O'Neal and Gavin Miller coming in for Sprang and Kieran Carter-Stokes. A little bit of shooting and speed and aggressiveness here on the defensive end. Maybe make it a little more difficult here. We'll see how that changes the offense as we move here.
And you got to love Mackay Johnson, one of Fostoria's best offensive players, taking up the defensive mantle of trying to guard Lentz. And just trying to get up into his shirt, like you said, with Traxler on the other end. Mackay is trying to do the same thing here. Trying to bring pressure out past the 3-point line.
And they're looking to give them, some opportunities here. So the Lentz getting doubled there, that gives him a look for Wickard, and Wickard is a guy who can really just grind you into the paint a little bit. And he did a nice job on the last possession doing that. Looked for an opportunity here, couldn't quite get it, tried to throw an inside pass and turn it over, but I think they'll keep looking to Wickard.
Jason Tucker with a nice back down there, just a nice little drop step, puts the ball into the cup. It's good to see him get some numbers on the board here early. Zach May wide open under the basket, breakdown into defensive rotation that time, and that brings the lead to 20-9. Elmwood up 11 here midway through the second.
And that one just Fostoria's trying to figure out the defense here and figure out how they want to do it, and it's just a little back cut there, leaving May wide open. Took one, an easy bucket for them. Hey, and then a nice cut to the middle there from Jordan Ferguson leads to a nice bucket right back for Fostoria.
Yeah, there's something they need to do more of, is try to get Ferguson on the block. He's so athletic in there. You're going to elevate, and they just need more of him going to the rim. Fostoria in the fast break, Mackay leading it. Pulls it back out. Looks like they'll reset their offense.
And you can see they're trying to really be surgical on their movements here. There we go. Oh. It's a nice look inside. Rebound back to Mackay Johnson on the offensive board. And just like that, we cut it to 7 again here. Fostoria down 20-13 against Elmwood here with 4:30 to go in the second quarter.
And that's just hustle, attacking the glass. Ferguson had a nice look in the paint, kind of in and out. But Mackay was right there. Picked up the offensive board, nice little fadeaway shot to cut the lead down. Elmwood moving the ball around Lentz now. Ferguson picks up the guard on Lentz. Lentz kind of crosses him up a little bit. Looks for Traxler in the corner. Missed three. Jason Tucker leads the break.
And Fostoria's running a defense here. They're really trying to, basically set up a trap for Lentz, but they're trying to do it with 3 defenders, and they're just kind of having a hard time right now with figuring out exactly what Loomis wants. And I think they'll kind of get that squared away. He'll kind of clarify here in this timeout. But essentially, they're looking to trap and just ignore the third guy out there at the half-court line.
Yeah.
And really try and force Lance into a decision that he doesn't want to make, where the ball is out of his hands. Because if they feel like Lance has the ball out of his hand, they feel like maybe that's going to put them in a better situation.
Yeah, I mean, Fostoria's best defense is Lentz not having the ball. So anytime they can get him to give it up, that's important for them. Obviously, Traxler seemingly get cut down, calls a timeout, and kind of maybe refocus that Elmwood team. And then you kind of see Fostoria gain some momentum, getting a little more confidence, getting better looks at the basket, making some shots. So they look to maybe cut this lead and take the lead of their own before we get into halftime.
And like we said, like we said, we expected a physical game, and we got it. You know what I mean? Rickard has been a really, really, really aggressive player in the post so far, and really kind of grinding inside there to make it difficult for Fostoria to do anything on the offensive or defensive boards. But Fostoria's responded well by stepping up and throwing other guys at him, and it's worked out pretty good.
Yeah, they've cut that lead down by making some good passes, hustling on the boards, and putting up some easy shots in the paint. Right there we saw Zach May kind of laser a pass in the paint to Alan Sterling, looks out of bounds. Mackay leads Fostoria offense into the half court.
Well, Ferguson's sitting now for Fostoria and Rickard out for Elmwood. We're going to see a little bit of how this second group can actually get some good looks and get some open opportunities here.
Looks like Elmwood goes into a 2-3. Mackay Johnson with a long three-pointer, and it's good. Cutting the lead to 2. He's feeling it there.
May have had something to say to Lance after that one. That one, he took that one from just outside of, let's see what he say, Van Buren?
Yeah, that was beyond Bascom, I think.
Yep.
Looks like we get a little block foul or a little hand check here on Fostoria.
And they did again, but they did what they wanted. They pushed Lance all the way to the sideline in the corner. That's exactly what they want to do. They did a nice job with that. And, even with them switching off defenders there, they had him doubled almost the entire time to the corner. So they got, a little unlucky there with the foul by O'Neal. But O'Neal doing exactly what you want from him right there. So that's great work.
Play. Rickard kicks it out. Seedorf with the three-pointer. Jason Tucker with a nice rebound, leading the fast break.
All the way, just like that, we're tied 20-20 here.
The big guy goes coast to coast, rebound to board. You love to see that hustle, love to see that energy. And he's feeling it, playing much better today than he did on Saturday. And you can see the confidence growing with every possession.
And you see that Elmwood, the goal here is to make Elmwood have other guys get the points here. Force the ball out of Lance's hand like they did right there, and make some other guys make some shots, and they haven't done it yet. So we're going to have to see if they can get some other guys right there. Number 23, Jackson Childress getting a bucket there. That's exactly what Elmwood's looking to do, is force the ball, like I said, out of Lance's hands so that make other guys have the count on getting a bucket here or there. So
what Elmwood has to do when Fostoria brings a double team to Lynch, someone's going to be open. They got to find that guy, and that guy's got to step up, whether he drives, kicks, gets Fostoria in a bad rotation. Someone's going to be open, and they just have to take advantage of that to kind of keep this game close and kind of maintain this lead.
Fostoria with the quick change here. Mackay getting a quick rest here. Ferguson back in, and Fostoria with the baseline out of bounds here. Like we said, they're looking to exploit some options they have here, and again, they go right inside, and they set up a nice post move there from Dylan Holmes against Traxler, and that's another one on Traxler.
Dylan Holmes, he's 6'3" against Traxler, who's only 5'7". That's a matchup they'll go to every time, I think.
So you'll take that matchup all day. That gets Traxler out of the game. That gives, like we said, Mackay, when he comes back in, a little more patience from Traxler there.
Big play for Jason Tucker there, getting the ball off the baseline inbounds, putting the ball up. Not only does he draw the foul, but he also makes the basket. He'll shoot one and look to take the lead here, Fostoria.
That's exactly what we're looking for. We want execution here this time of year. This is the kind of stuff the coach is looking for and saying, okay, I can trust you with minutes. If you're going to run this out of bounds play, exactly what we want, and finish and get that foul here. Chance to get the extra one. And just can't get it. down here as we see Elmwood coming back into the half court, and now we've got Ferguson out on Lance. We'll see how he does.
Yep. Elmwood has the ball tied 22 all with Fostoria with a minute and a half left. Lentz gets his shot off. Long two, makes it.
And they switched up the offense a little bit there to kind of throw Fostoria off, and it definitely worked. There was some confusion. They kind of went with the high forward line there, and it allowed Lentz to get a nice open look and get him going maybe offensively. And we'll see how they make the adjustments as we go forward.
Yeah, a guy like Lentz, he's going to get his shot off no matter what kind of defense you throw at him. Fostoria just wants to make him uncomfortable and kind of take shots from angles he doesn't want to take the shots from. O'Neal, top of the arc here, resets the offense. Coach Loomis shouts in a play. Let's see what we got here coming out.
Fostoria, though, looking good movement. That's what we want. Crisp passes, good movements. You're going to see somebody come open eventually here. Passes a little bit sloppy right there, but for the most part, they just keep running through this offense. They're going to get there eventually.
Sometimes when you run these motion sets, you just want to kind of see your guys move around the court. You're not looking to score off the first, second, third pass, but like Dave, like you said, someone will come open. They just got to take advantage of that.
Right now, even if you run time, you're running good offense. You're getting these guys moving the ball, touching the ball. That's what you want. Give these guys some opportunity to get in there and get in it part of the game.
Kick out to O'Neal from three.
Yep.
Drains it. Fostoria takes the lead, 25-24. Big shot from O'Neal, and that's exactly what they want. They want one of the other guys to step up, and that's a huge shot for them. And Fostoria will go into halftime with a 25-24 lead, overcoming the early deficit. And we will enter halftime with the home team up by one.
Big shot there by O'Neal. A lot of momentum now going into halftime. Let's see how it goes in the second half.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we're breaking down what we've seen so far, I'd say we've seen better basketball in terms of competitiveness than we, I think, expected. I think we weren't sure it would be this close. But this time of year, man, everything's grinded up. Every possession's got to be crisp and moving. And when Fostoria gets out to a tough start like that, you're definitely going to see Elmwood take advantage. You just aren't going to be able to deal with that kind of thing happening early in a game at this point. So kudos to Fostoria for making the adjustments, and we'll look to see what they do second half here to keep Lentz in check, because he's going to come out ready to start unloading shots. We can expect that.
I mean, if you're Coach Traxler, you're happy how the game started. You're happy that this game is a 1-point game, but you kind of have to be kind of disappointed because you had that 10-point lead early, and you kind of let it get away from you there. But Fostoria, they made some shots, and they've got some talented guys. And Fostoria is a team that averages 50 points a game, so they're right on the mark with 25 at halftime. And if you're Elmwood, you average like 40 points, so you're kind of ahead of where you normally are at this point in the game. So both sides can take home that they're playing well. Fostoria made up the lead, and they come to halftime with the lead, so they can be happy about that coming out, and maybe that builds some momentum for the home team here, and a lot of stuff they can build on. So as poorly as they played early, they're playing well now, and that's all that counts.
And the defense was there early. That's what I think was the big deal, was they were playing good defense early, and it's starting to wear. You can definitely see, early on, you could see that Wickard was wearing out, and the Traxler was wearing out from all the work they were having to do just to keep, Fostoria at bay defensively. But I think Fostoria's got to be looking at this at halftime and saying, I think we executed the way we wanted to. I think they got some rebounds early that we didn't want them to get, and we got to do a better job of tightening up things in the offensive glass, to make sure that we don't give those opportunities. But looking at where they are right now, I think they feel like they are in the driver's seat coming out of that second quarter, and they're getting what they want right now, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Now, if you were just watching on our live feed, you just saw Coach Bradley Bowser there of the baseball team, newly clean-shaven after raising nearly $2,700 for the baseball team. And he kind of put it out to the school. If he raised $1,500, he would shave his head. He had long locks before, and he shaved it all off at a pep rally on Friday. So that was really cool, since now he shaved head, shaved beard with just a mustache. So, maybe he didn't want to lose hair, but it is also pretty cool that he raised all that money for the baseball team. So good job for those kids, and hopefully has a successful baseball season this year.
Yeah, just in time for the weather to break a little bit and him to be able to get outside and not need all that hair finally. We had a couple of nice days here. Saw the softball team doing some work outside yesterday, and it's great to see them ramping up for their seasons, and as these guys wind down their season. But like we said, good basketball tonight. I think we're excited about what we're going to see in the second half. I think we're excited about the opportunity for both teams. I think in this case are going to have good opportunities for a postseason win here, as they have good matchups in the postseason. So, looking towards that's the 22nd. So we still got another 2 weeks here of basketball, hopefully, for both of these teams. And as you can see, like, the energy's there, the excitement's there, and we're playing some good basketball now. Looking to see Fostoria try and do a little bit more defensively and holding Lentz up a little bit more with some double teams, and really excited about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it's a weird part of the season this year. Two teams not competing for a conference championship, and they already have their playoff games announced. So it's kind of a weird to And what are we looking forward to? We're looking forward to the playoffs. We're looking forward to this game. So it's hard for a coach to kind of say, hey guys, we got this game to play. Doesn't really mean much, but we also have this playoff game coming up in a week or two. So you got to kind of use any kind of strategy you can. Guys got to be focused, and I think the main thing is we got to play well in this game, win or lose, and kind of have some momentum going into those playoffs.
Definitely. And for Fostoria here, looking at their record right now, looking at these games this week with this game and then two more that I think they're looking at with an opportunity to win. And they steal a postseason game, and they're looking at a record of 500 for the end of the year after sitting here right now at 7-11. Looking up at the end of the year and seeing that streak to finish off, that's great. That's a great thing to build off of. You played your best basketball, hopefully at that point, when it mattered, and might not have got the outcome you wanted in the conference, but you got to finish the way you will finish with the wins as best you can here.
Good crowd tonight, good student section output. We've been impressed so far with the games I've attended this year, and I'm sure you can comment on this too, David. But the student section comes out strong, whether it's a boys game or a girls game, and I think that really helps out the players knowing that their classmates and their peers are supporting them in their athletic endeavors, and I hope they also come out for those playoff games too, even though they have to travel a little bit. Now the boys play in Lima, which isn't too far away, so hopefully they can bust down there and support them in their game against Kenton.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a nice thing, is just being able to get some fans there and to get that home crowd there a little bit to kind of feel like you have some support. You play away games all year, and because you want to make sure that you're ready for those opportunities in the postseason. So, hopefully it doesn't feel like too much of a drive affecting them, and hopefully they'll be ready and up and ready to rock and roll for that one. But I think the nice part about that postseason game is always that you have that different feeling, right? When you step on the court and this one is it. This is a one and done. Mm-hmm. If we don't take care of business tonight, it's all over. So that brings different feeling, different emotion, and if we see the execution we saw here in the second quarter, I think there's a great opportunity here for this Fostoria team to be successful the way they want to be and be competitive in that tournament. Absolutely. David and I are going to take a short little break, and we will join you at the beginning of the third quarter. We got about 4 minutes left, so stick around and grab some popcorn. Maybe check out, I think the Cavaliers are playing right now, so check that game out a little bit for the next couple minutes and join us back when we start here at the end of the third quarter.
All right, welcome back at the start of the third quarter with Fostoria leading the Elmwood Royals 25-24. Starters right now on the court, we have Makai Johnson, Christian Carter Stokes, Aiden Spring, Jason Tucker, Jordan Ferguson for the Redmen. And for Elmwood, we have Landry Seedorf, Zach May, Tyler Traxler, Cade Lentz, and Hayden Wicker. Elmwood comes out in the 2-3 zone. Makai Johnson launches a three, makes it. He's 2 for 2 on the day. The 2 threes. Well, he hit his last 2 anyways. That was a good one, putting the Fostoria Redmen up by 4 coming out of halftime.
And like we talked about, Mike, this is exactly what you want to see. Great execution, really good job there, making sure that they had a really patient offensive possession and waited for a shot. Makai doing what you don't want to, what the zone hates to see is a shot over. Steal here.
Tucker with the Euro step, can't finish. Spring resets on the perimeter.
And just really, you're going to want to see a lot of this. Yep. Great offense. Great offense. Backdoor cut at the baseline, and boom, just like that, it's a 6-point lead for Fostoria. Off with steal and a nice move. And just really crisp offense and execution so far.
Exactly what the doctor ordered for Fostoria coming out at halftime. Coach Loomis has to love that. Coach Traxler does not love that, considering we just called a timeout a minute into the third quarter, so they're hoping to right the ship a little bit and keep this game from getting out of hand because Fostoria's on a little bit of rhythm here. Tucker's coming out ahead of basket. They just like they're working in the flow a bit better, getting easier shots, and just their defense has stepped up, gotten for some turnovers here earlier in the half.
Well, and the hard part for Johnson here is when you're trying to defend him, you want to try and stop that penetration as he's trying to move around the offense, and then he just takes 2 steps back, and he's now hit 2 of those, and he's big enough that he can shoot over anybody in that distance. They won't come out that far, and once you come out that far, you're overcommitted, and he's going right by you. So, really good offense there by Fostoria. And let's see what we can see here on defense as Johnson's back out here again on Lentz, and we're looking to run this same set. Another steal here.
Tucker on the fast break. Nice shot into the basket. Kind of stumbles, but is able to flick it up right flush with the rim. And we got a little half-court pressure here. Lentz steps out of bounds. Christian Carter Stokes forces the turnover. Great defensive play by Fostoria Redmen.
Chance here, 8-point lead, 6:30 to go in the third quarter. Chance here to extend it. We'll see how this goes. Makai Johnson on the inbounds pass. Frees up Ferguson. Johnson running baseline here. Back cut back to the corner. Another 3 in the corner, and it's good.
Bangs another 3. They set that play just for Makai to get open on the wing there, and he sinks it. He's feeling it. He's hit his last 3 3-pointers, and Fostoria extends their lead 35-24, leading by 9 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
Real sharp down cut there off the inbounds play by Johnson, and really Elmwood doing what they've been doing all night, overcommitting, and Johnson just comes right back out to the corner and hits a nice contested 3, but it's great to have them feeling like stuff's going their way here, and all of a sudden 11-point lead, and really starting to feel like that defense is going to be exactly what they need to keep this game in their hands the rest of the way.
Yeah, Makai's a kid where you're so afraid of his drives because he can really bully you into paint, but if he's stepping back and hitting those threes, it's a world of hurt for the other team.
And really needed 3 there by Wickard for Elmwood, really kind of cuts into that lead a little bit here, but something you don't really expect to see as much from Wickard, so a really nice hit from him, and now we're back to 8-point lead for Fostoria. Fostoria again just trying to work through this offense, run their sets, get open looks, and this time they were on the glass, and they fall a loose ball here, stays Fostoria, but that was good hustle on the boards there by Tucker to keep it, and looking to keep that intensity on the boards to kind of make sure they're cleaning up everything here.
Yeah, you can't let up on the offensive glass. Looked like Carter Stokes had a opportunity in the paint, but Lentz steals the ball, but he happened to step out of bounds as he's running up court on the fast break. So lucky play there for Fostoria, not getting the turnover on the baseline.
And Elmwood just trying to make anything happen here. So, they're going to be looking to take a few more risks as they get further into this quarter because they really are going to need to try and create some empty possessions for Fostoria. So you'll see them start to jump passing lanes and just try and make things happen here. And same thing here on offense. Lentz trying to push it up the court and stuck in the lane, has to kick it out. And now they got Wickard trapped in the corner.
That is not where you want to be with the basketball. He throws it off The Fostoria player goes out of bounds, so they'll get the baseline inbounds there. But he had nowhere to go with that basketball.
We're seeing the same type of thing we were looking for. Fostoria now giving it right back on defensively, staying really, really tight. And the commitment there to stop Let's do an easy bucket on the back door by Wickard.
Yeah, that was a nice little set there by Elmwood to get an open look for Wickard. Zach May picks up the foul for Elmwood. Makai Johnson will inbound it under the basket.
Tucker looks like he got a little banged up there on that foul. He just tried to take it into the paint again, and May just gave him a little chucked him out there. He's trying to make sure that he couldn't get an easy shot off. As we see a backdoor cut there by Spring, leading to a layup attempt, and forces a foul from Elmwood, and he'll get 2 shots.
Yeah, that was a good look there by Ferguson, kind of having his eyes there, looking, seeing Spring leak right up the paint towards the basket on that little back cut. He'll shoot 2. Spring makes his first one. He's only a 40% free throw shooter here. That is only a 6th free throw of the year. So let's see if we can make that average a little bit better. 2 for 2 at the line, extending Fostoria's lead 37-29 over the Elmwood Royals.
We'll see what Fostoria does here defensively. Still in their man. They come off of the lens to double Lentz there, and then they're kind of trying to recover. But it does exactly what they want. If they can get the ball out of Lentz's hands, there's an opportunity for a turnover possibly, and that's what happened right there.
Skip pass goes out of bounds as Fostoria brought the double team to Lentz. Kai walks the ball up court, looking to set some offense here. Looks like we're going to get travel from Spring here, and Elmwood will get it off the turnover.
Good look there. They're just being real careful with the offense, and Spring just takes a couple steps before he gets going. So commit right back here to defense, and you can kind of see the same type of thing. Fostoria's got it. They're going to leave open Landry Seedorf here, and let's see if he can make him, if they'll make him shoot it. And ball goes to Seedorf again, and he takes another shot that misses, and loose ball out of bounds goes to Fostoria.
Looks like Zach May committed a foul under the basket on that shot to maybe push him out of the way, try to get that rebound. Fostoria's on a little fast break here. Mackay pushes the ball up the court. Picked up immediately by Traxler in half court. Mackay working, coming off a curl, and a screen set by Ferguson. He draws the foul.
And Traxler now, that's his third, and he's obviously got one job tonight, and that's to make it impossible for Johnson to do what he wants. But he's trying to negotiate that as best he can, and he just got his third, and he'll come back out. He's working hard, and Johnson right now got that one against him. So we'll see if they can make an adjustment here to get someone else who can guard Johnson and get him some open looks.
Spraying with the ball in the corner, feeds it to Ferguson in the high post. A walk by Christian Carter-Stokes, and he picked up his pivot foot there.
And a good step in there by Spring to give him an open look, but just kind of hesitated for a second and then tried to take a step and led to a travel there as Lentz brings the ball up again for Elmwood. And you can kind of see again, same exact set. Like there's no change from what's happening here. Elmwood's on the same type of look, and Fostoria is just happy to let Seedorf just kind of roam free as they try and make sure that Lentz has 2 guys with his attention at all times.
Sterling with the drive there and draws the foul. And Fostoria sitting in that 2-3 zone and just bring those 2 top guys up with the quick double team to Lentz, doing everything they can to get the ball out of his hands into the hands of someone else. Sterling misses the front end there. He'll shoot a second one. He's only shooting. Makes the second. Cutting lead to 7 points. Fostoria up 37-30. Spring gets it. Top of the arc. Nowhere to go. Kai ball top of the arc. Fostoria running a little motion set here. Little passing cut.
Yeah, just a very patient, methodical run right here as they're kind of looking through this. Just being a really good job of just working through. And again, Elmwood really physical off these cuts and off these screens, really getting into Fostoria there, attacking everything. And finally, so a backdoor cut and a bucket for Carter Stokes.
And that's what you want when you run those motion sets, when you lull the defense to sleep, pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball. And all it takes is for one guy to attack. And right there we saw someone wide open on the basket.
Yeah, to be honest, like it's just getting through those screens and communicating. And most teams aren't ready to just go through and say, switch and what's going on there. They're just not used to doing that through about 4 or 5 different screens. And so eventually you got guys guarding anybody they can find and just hoping for the best. And that can lead to bad matchups and easy buckets.
Mackay with a big swat there. Rejecting Sterling's shot out of bounds. Ferguson will bring the ball up, getting the play call from Coach Loon.
Fostoria bringing the ball up, and ball coming to Johnson here at the top. Well, wasn't quite ready for it, but recovers, and we're running the offense here again. As you can kind of see, like it's all the same type of stuff. It's that cut and then back cut, screen and back cut, and Johnson looking to get an open look here. He's got Ferguson for help at the top, and just reset it. And every time it doesn't work, they just reset and they go again. Carter Stokes looking to make a move in the post and then reset. Just looking to kind of push and see if there's anything there, and if there's nothing, they're patient and they're bringing it back out and going again.
Yeah, this is good offense from Fostoria here. As Carter Stokes takes advantage, drives with the left-hand layup and finishes, putting the Fostoria up by 11. Lynch with the pull-up, the mid-range, Seedorf with the rebound, Sterling in the paint. Draws the foul. Not sure if the basket counted, though.
Yeah, a little bit too much there from Tucker on the backside. A little aggressive trying to get that block. Always trying to get the squad going, just getting up for that. And just a little overreaches and comes down a little early, and chance for and one here.
Missed the free throw. Rickard from beyond the arc. Lynch rushes in for the rebound, but knocks it out of bounds. Fostoria will inbounds the ball up 9.
Still 41-32 here with 1:23 to go. And, like I said, Fostoria coming out at halftime with that 1-point lead, extending it here to 8. They're doing what they want. They're slowly working through this, and they're just being real patient with this offense, and it's working right now. So no panic here really from them. They've done a nice job of just slowly working through this, and they're executing really nicely right now.
Jason Tucker bowlings his way into the paint. Nice little power dribble there, puts the ball up, finishes. It's a good game for him so far. Sterling misses the shot off the side of the backboard. Seedorf with the putback, misses. Elmwood gets a rebound, but draws the foul on the putback.
And you got some good things going here with Fostoria, but same thing we saw early in the first half, given 3 tries there on offensive boards. And, when you got good shot blockers, and Fostoria's got a couple guys who are really good instincts in the shot blocking, if you don't get that block, or even if sometimes when you do, that ball still sneaks out because you're out of position off of that block. And that's leaving some opportunities here for Elmwood to get some free throws and get some fouls from the Fostoria guys here with 40 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Fostoria up 11.
Absolutely. And if you're the weak side defender there, you got to come in and take that man and try to get that box out. Obviously, they get the rebound off the missed free throw. Fostoria moving off the court. Ferguson leading the charge. Nice seal by Tucker underneath the basket. Puts it up, finishes. That's a great play by him, getting down court on the fast break, establishing position under the basket, and getting the basket there for 2.
Fostoria doing a good job here of getting what they want with the trap on Lentz. But Lentz comes all the way in here, get a rebound, another offensive rebound. And leading to a couple shots there for Elmwood. Another block by Fostoria keeps it with Elmwood out of bounds baseline, but they trapped ball out of Lentz's hands, and you're going to keep seeing it the rest of this game, it looks like. Just more of that.
Really good defensive intensity as we near the end of this third quarter here, about 10 seconds left. Elmwood will look to get the last shot here. Gets the ball into the paint. The Childress pressure defensively. Carter Stokes with the ball with 1 second left. Mackay at the buzzer makes the shot. The fadeaway baseline jumper. You gotta love that. That puts Fostoria up 47-32, beating by 15 going into the fourth quarter. What a finish there by the Redmen.
And great execution. Like, honestly, it's just they're doing what they want on defense. They're getting the ball out of Lentz's hands. They're running great sets on offense, and Tucker just taking over on the offensive end right now, and just those defensive matchups are just not been favorable to Elmwood, and Fostoria taking advantage.
You know, that's exactly what Fostoria wants to do. They want to force you a turnover on defense, which they did. They got out and ran. And they got the nice basket with 2 seconds left. I thought that extra pass from Stokes was going to run the clock out, but Johnson somehow manages to get that shot away, and it's a decent shot from the baseline, puts it in. And you'd like to think a 15-point lead is insurmountable here by Elmwood. Hey, but I've seen crazier things in my time.
Yeah, and a lot of guys on Fostoria are going now. A lot of the offense going. We haven't really seen Ferguson getting into that much tonight. Honestly, it's not been a lot of what we would expect to see from him, getting those double figures and getting a lot of shots up. But Tucker stepped up, and they've kind of looked to him to kind of get more of those inside looks as he's playing the middle in that zone.
It's exactly the bounce back game I'm sure Coach Loomis wanted to see out of Jason Tucker. Looks like he's mentally focused, ready to have a much better game today than he has. He's really showed out as a freshman. Little fadeaway there from Wickert, misses. Ferguson leading the break.
And we talked about just nice job cleaning up the boards there and doing the dirty work there for Tucker. And, they got the ball in Lentz's hands again.
Mackay coming off that little curl screen. Gets it back in the paint. Muscles his way through. Takes a lot of contact on the basket, maybe inadvertent. Gets the ball back out. Looks to shoot the three. Just off the top of the rim there.
Lentz with the board looking to run, and he's met immediately by 2 Fostoria defenders and loses it out of bounds, going the other way. And Lentz is trying to do it all right now, just trying to keep him in the game, but there's just not enough help, and it's not enough left in the tank right now.
No, just bothered by the constant harassment he's getting from the Fostoria Redmen here. That defensive pressure really getting to his head as he tries to press a little bit. Stokes with the Euro step into the lane, misses the shot. May with the rebound, down 15. Lentz dribbling into the double team, passes it back to Wickard. Gets the ball back top of the arc. He can shoot from there, and he will, but he's forced to get rid of the ball again. Seedorf loses the ball out of bounds. And if there's a way, if Coach Loomis drew up a picture of how he wanted defense to play, that was the possession. That's how he drew it up. A rebound, or a ball out of bounds, and Fostoria retains possession.
And there's something not what Elmwood was looking for this year. Obviously, they weren't expecting to have to play Seedorf these minutes. He's a freshman. They were hoping to have Adam Meyer filling these minutes. But Seedorf here getting experience. And trying to do the best he can to step in these moments and learning and going through this is a good experience for him to be better next year.
Yep, next man up mentality. You got to be ready to come in. And he hasn't played poorly so far, but inexperience comes a little some of those turnovers. Lentz with the ball, center court here. 6 minutes left. 47-32, Redmond leading. Traxler with the ball up the top. Looks for Wickard on the baseline. Wickard goes up, under, makes the basket.
Really nice move by Wickard there. And just really came to the ball, gave him an opportunity there to kind of get a good look. And on the other end, Fostoria comes down, runs a set, spraying in the corner with a miss, and rebound by Elmwood, and they're going the other way. But Mackay Johnson steps away and knocks it pass off of Elmwood, and Fostoria ball. Johnson looking to run a little bit here.
Yeah, Elmwood had a nice opportunity, like a little through ball bounce pass there, but Mackay comes and steals it away and takes away what would have been an easy layup for the Royals.
Fostoria now up 13 with 5.5 to go. We'll definitely look to just kind of run the offense and grind this one out as they look to just continue to do what they need to do here to run this offense effectively.
Carter Stokes with a no-look pass there to Mackay Johnson as he flashes in the lane. Johnson finishes with a reverse lay-in, and Fostoria's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, another really nice backdoor cut, and just really looking for what you want there to keep Elmwood watching the ball a little bit too much and getting beat on these backdoors, and these really nice sharp cuts from Fostoria running great offense here.
Yeah, it's extending the lead back to 15, and they've looked really good here in the third, fourth quarter.
A far cry from what we saw in that first quarter. Totally different team. getting on the boards, making sure they clean up, making shots difficult, and really their plan for Lentz in this after the first quarter has been executed perfectly.
Yeah, Elmwood came out to a hot start in that first quarter, played really hard defense. Looks like Fostoria maybe wasn't prepared for such a hard-nosed defensive pressure from Elmwood, and it kind of bothered them in that first quarter, but they came back, they ended up taking the lead, going into halftime, and they battled, and they've stretched this lead out to 15 for playing some really good team basketball. Everyone's gotten a little piece of it, and that's really good to see.
And I think even Elmwood looking back now is going to be kind of wondering themselves, like, maybe we shouldn't have gone into that 3 guys at half court offense that kind of run the clock, because that took them out of the rhythm of what they were doing. They were attacking, they were being aggressive, they were forcing things to happen because they were getting Fostoria out of position. And then they just kind of allowed Fostoria to get their legs and get back into it. And that's completely changed the game since then.
Yeah, when you get that lead, you got to keep the hammer on, right? You can't back it off. You got to stay on it. Rickard with a deep 2-point attempt. Foster on the fast break, exactly where they want to be. Johnson misses it with the right-handed attempt. Now Lentz on the fast break for Elmwood into the paint, draws contact. He'll shoot 2.
Makai Johnson saving the rebound there, banged up a little bit on the hip on the play. He's been holding his arm. He's now laying on the ground for this one, so he's a little banged up after this one. It's been a physical affair, and he's struggling to get through here. But a nice drive there by Lentz to get 2 free throws. And as Chaz Macbeth center checks in, there's 4:47 to go, 15-point lead for Fostoria. Just looking to see the same thing here from Chaz. It's just get in there, fill your role, run the plays, and get the rebounds here when you're inside there looking for an opportunity.
Absolutely. Maybe you get an open shot. You got to take advantage of those, but play within yourself. Don't force anything, and play within the flow of the offense. We saw earlier Makai kind of tugging at his right rib cage a little bit. Maybe took a little shot there on a tumble, but he looks fine.
Good patient ball movement here again by Fostoria. That's what they're looking to do. Their best settles out top here with Makai cutting through. Like I said, as it gets later here, we'll see more opportunities for Fostoria to kind of wear this open and get a good look inside.
J.C. Tucker thinks about the 3-point attempt. I think the student section wanted him to take it. He pulled out of it, though, and that's probably for the best.
And Fostoria just running clock here now at this point. They're not going to be rushed. They're not going to be pulled into this, get a quick shot up. They run a really high percentage shot here. And they're going to might get one here as Ferguson gets a nice finish at the rim.
And that's what you want when you run that motion offense. Don't take the bad shot, take the one that's there. Ferguson drives in with a nice layup.
Tucker's shot might have been wide open, but they would have much rather had someone else finish that on the layup like they did. And that turnover there leading to a dunk by Ferguson.
Ferguson with the 2-handed flush. Student section loves it. I'm sure he's been looking for that one all game. Lentz counters with a deep 3 attempt.
And Lentz just kind of been locked up all night. Finally gets a good look, gets it off right away. Then a steal here with a nice easy finish. 5 quick points for Lentz to get Elmwood back within 13 with 3 to go here.
And you never know, with a sharp shooter like Lentz, he could bag a couple and cut this lead under 10 in the blink of an eye. Fostoria, they're playing a little fast, feeling themselves a little bit. They just got to take it slow, play within the offense, not force anything. So he worked that motion. Jason Tucker, the left dribble, puts a ball up, runs off the back of the rim. Draws a foul, though, from Zach May. He'll shoot 2.
And what a nice game for him today. Really defensively being in there and being deterrent, doing a nice job on the boards, and really being that middle guy in the offense a lot of times. We're just getting a little short pass inside and rolling bends in the rim and getting a nice finish. He's done a great job of that. As we see Elmwood call off the dogs here a little bit.
Looks like Coach Traxler has partially waved the white flag a little bit, pulling out some of the starters. Jason Tucker makes the second. Jason Harpster checks in for Tucker. Nice game today, as you said earlier. Great, nice game, nice bounce back game for Jason. Good to see that, and I'm sure he feels great about it, so does Coach Loomis.
Aggressive defense there by Fostoria to get a force of pass there from Lance, but just a little bit too much in the body as they try and force him out of bounds, and takes away what could have been a nice steal by Chaz with that set. As Lentz gets taken out of the game here, we've got a whole second crew here from Elmwood. Fostoria's brought in Chaz Bastetos. They brought in Jason Harpster, and we've got Ryan O'Neill ready to check in here as well. So looking to get these guys a few more minutes and get them some more run. Chaz McBestos with a nice rebound here. Ball up the spring here as Fostoria sets it up.
Harpster driving a little bit. Gets it back to Ferguson. Spring resets it. Now Mackay has it. Looking to set up some offense. Getting into their motion set here. We got a minute 45 left. Fostoria leading 55-40. Harpster with a baseline jumper off the mark. But they get their own rebound.
Another offensive board for Fostoria is really nice.
Pump fake. Harpster with the teardrop attempt. Misses, but does draw the foul, so he'll shoot two.
Harpster here on senior night looking for an opportunity to get a couple points here from the line.
Makes the first one. Crowd goes wild. Too. Section loves it. You love to see the senior come in. Kid that doesn't play a lot. Score a point on senior night. Gotta love it. As Dylan Holmes checks in for Jordan Ferguson. Let's see if Harpster can make this trip 2 for 2.
No.
A little short. Elmwood with the rebound.
Good moment there. Fans really got into that one. That was great to see senior Harpster get a bucket get a free throw from the line there. And
Harpster filling up the stat sheet here. Little hand check down the perimeter. He will get the fouls. Gavin Miller looks to check in.
good feeling here on senior night as they finish it up and bring it out. Here we go. Aiden Spring is senior. Last home game coming out here. The crowd.
Love to see the adoration from the fans, the teammates. They know how hard everyone's worked.
Really nice moment there. Missed free throw by Elmwood, but they grab an offensive rebound and throw it off of Fostoria under the basket. So it'll be out of bounds underneath the basket for Elmwood.
Derek Kleinmark ready to check in for Fostoria. He'll check in for Gavin Miller. You had a good 15 seconds in the game. Elmwood on the offensive here. Draws a foul. Cody Edwards will shoot two.
Hey, as we finish up here, what a great night. You got to feel good about getting a win on senior night, giving these guys a chance to do their thing before the home fans, the home crowd, on their home court one last time. As Chaz McBestos comes off the floor. Big hug from Coach Loomis and the group. Loving the effort here, loving the energy, and great moment.
I'd love to see the support once again as the seniors come off the court. Miller on the perimeter drives, right-handed layup attempt, good. A nice little drive there by Miller. Love to see the energy of the guys coming off the bench.
Yep, just doing what they want. When they want to get in transition to get a run out, throw it up.
Loose ball. Miller steals it away, kind of rolls it up the court, but could not quite get to it.
And a nice defensive play by Kleinmark there to get it, and Miller tries to knock it down the court to Harpster, but can't quite get it. Ball rolls away. Elmwood brings it up. Under a minute here, 50.7 to go as Fostoria's up 58-40 here. They look ready, Matt. I mean, they really do. They look ready for the postseason. They look ready in terms of execution and finding shots they want. They didn't take the shots that they don't want. These are the things, if you're looking up the game script, these are all game shots that you want. As we get a board there from Dylan Holmes. Oh, another look there by Jason Harmster, falls short, trying to get a bucket for the senior.
Threw up a little runner at the foul line, couldn't get the fall. Looking for the foul. The refs did not oblige him.
And that'll be it for Harmster, coming out to a big round of applause from the crowd. He gave him some good shots there, good opportunities, but great moment here again.
Hey, he got his point. He's feeling good about himself. Nice little run for him as Ryan O'Neal walks the ball up the court, looking to run the clock out for Redmond.
And now they turn to these last two games this week. Feeling good about this. Looking to just finish up the way they want to here, getting some guys some minutes. And saw some really good execution. Just making sure they're ready. From the jump as Caden Miller fills it up at the buzzer.
We love to see the JD guys come in. Good little run there. As Caden Miller sinks a long three at the buzzer, giving Fostoria a 61-40 win on their senior night. And hopefully the guys are feeling really good about this. And they can take this game into their next game as they play New Rigo on the road to end their season, as they're looking to get in a nice rhythm for tournament play against Kenton at Lima Senior.
Hey, what a great night. Glad everybody joined us here tonight. We enjoy doing this. This is obviously our second time doing this, Matt and I. Matt, I appreciate all the work that you put in, all the opportunity we had here to do this and celebrate the teams here that we have and share that with the community as well. That was really cool moments here, and we're glad we got a win tonight.
Yeah, this is a good one, especially the way it started. Great win. And David, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor and a pleasure, let me rephrase that. And it was just good to be a part of this, and really good outing here for the Redmen. And I was really enjoyed doing both broadcasts with the girls senior night and the boys senior night, and hopefully we can kind of do this again in the future. Good showing from the fans, good crowd support. We just love to see the effort from all the players tonight. Guys coming off the bench, the starters. It was a great beginning to end for the team, the way they came back, took the lead, especially the way they finished there, ending up winning by 21. Just a great experience overall for everyone.
So with that win, that moves Fostoria here to 8-11 on the season, and that's 6-6, and evens them up there in the NBC. A nice way to kind of get close to the end here, and Elmwood falls to 4-15 or 1-12 in the NBC.
Like we said, Fostoria will play Kenton as a 9th seed, Kenton is the 8th seed, on the 22nd at 6 p.m. at Lima Senior, so please join them. If they win that game, they will play St. Mary's Memorial on the 24th, also at Lima Senior. Elmwood, they will play, as a 12th seed, they will play Riverdale, the 13th seed, on the 21st at 6 p.m. in Elida, and if they win, they will play Ottawa Glandorf, the number 1 seed in their division, at Elida on the 24th. But great win by Fostoria, ending the home stand on a win. Great win on senior night.
Yeah, I think we covered it, man. I think we covered it. A good group of seniors here. Excited for them to get those minutes tonight. Excited to see them happy and have that moment as they came out of the game here at the end. All of them. Big round of applause from the crowd. Game they got a win in. Got some nice minutes and some experience they won't forget here. So really cool moments tonight, and really glad we could end the season at Fostoria High School here for our teams
on a good note.
Win. Yeah.
So I guess signing off for me has been Matt Hotstein. Really enjoyed commenting for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well, and just enjoyed the experience overall. And like I said, hopefully we get the chance to do this again. Support the team in the postseason, and we'll be looking forward to next year also.
And just want to say that it's been a great opportunity for us to share this with everybody else who's been here with us tonight. So thank you. Thanks to our producer, Matt Swarchek, all the people behind the scenes here that kind of made this happen, and this has been really fun and a great chance for us to celebrate two teams that have worked real hard this year.
So enjoy the rest of the basketball season, tournaments, playoffs, and otherwise. Enjoy yourselves. Have a nice Monday night, and thanks for joining us once again. I'm Matt Hotstein. That's David St. Louis. God bless.